So here is the transfer function that we were trying to analyze, and we want to find out the transfer function of the overall system, right? So we know the transfer function of the controller, the actuator, the process, and the sensors, and we have put them together. And what we are trying to find out is the overall transfer function. By the overall transfer function, I mean we are trying to find out Ts, which is equal to Ys over Rs. Okay, so how are we going to do that? My general suggestion with block diagrams is to move from the left to the right. So take a look. You know what the signal here is at this point, right? And that is Rs, of course. What's the signal at this point? The signal at this point depends on this minus the signal at this point. But to find out the signal at this point, I need to know the signal at this point, because whatever it is at this point times h will give me the signal here. What is the signal at this point? If I go back, you can see that it is y. So you have ys here. So what you will have here is ys times hs. Okay, so the signal at this point is going to be r minus yh. I'm just dropping the s just because it's easier to write. Right, so what is the signal going to be at this point? It's going to be r minus yh times gc, which is the transfer function of this system. Then you have another transfer function ga, so the output at this point is going to be ga times gc r minus yh. And so the value at this point for the signal is going to be g times ga times gc r minus yh. And you can see that this value is going to be the same as ys. Okay, so what I'm saying is ys equal to g ga gc times r minus yh. So now we can reduce this equation so that we get all the y terms on one side and the r terms on the other side. So what do we get? We get y s plus g ga gc h times ys equal to g ga gc times rs. And so we can write ys 1 plus g times ga times gc times h equal to g ga gc rs. So now we can get ts, which is ys over rs, and that is going to be what do we have at the numerator? We have gs, I'm just putting the s terms back, gas gcs over 1 plus gs gas gcs hs. And so we've got the transfer function of the overall system here. Okay, so from individual transfer functions of each of these blocks, if we put them in a block diagram form, we are able to calculate the transfer function of an overall system, which probably is much more complicated than the transfer functions of the individual systems themselves.